Hello, everyone. Uh, I apologize for being in my pajamas. But yeah, I am. So get over it. But yeah, I just wanted to make another quick video. Quick, try to be quick. I'm not very. I'm rather verbose as a person, which means I talk too effing much. But I'm going to try to not actually swear in this video because I know that some people it would be offensive, and I have much greater vocabulary than that. So, um, I just grew up in a very working class area, and yes, guess it's a cultural thing for me. Kind of embrace it. I know everyone doesn't. Okay, I keep rambling. I'm such a rambler. Anyway, what I wanted to actually say was, um, thank you very much to everyone who commented on my doubts video, my response to Tegan's doubts video. Um, I really appreciate it. Um, I made it for Tegan, but I couldn't believe the response. I mean, there are a few people who contacted me to just say how touched they were, and people who felt like really, really related to it, which surprised me because I knew about trans and I knew about, everyone else. I didn't know that there were so many people who were kind of, somewhere in between. Or, people who I guess were trans but felt okay, like at different points of transition, or not the complete transition. I just thought it was fabulous. So thank you very much. There's some person contacting me who's going to write a book, and I won't name you just in case you would prefer not to be, but sounds absolutely fantastic. Um, and I'd be very happy to participate in any way I can. Um, yeah, so get to the point, woman. Um, I've had too much sugar today, very bad. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, of course, and talk a little bit more about happy things, because I was very upset after watching Tegan's video, so I was thinking more about the negative, but I wanted to talk more about how I feel now and that I'm in like a happy place, and I guess kind of how I got there. And this is just a personal thing, so I'm in no way advocating that everyone should get there via the route I took. It's just my personal, what I had to do to get there. Um, yeah, so basically I think that some of it came from growing up in what was a very sexist society. In Australia in the early to mid 80s, when I was a small child, people were very misogynistic. Misogynist means woman hater. Um, I remember really vividly being at some sports venue with my granddad, who I just loved to death. And he was wandering around doing some boring adult stuff. And I saw a bunch of boys and they were playing soccer on the oval. And I went up to them, I was about 5, I went up to them and I said, "Hello, can I play too?" And they just all turned around and looked at me, and they were about the same age as me, and they're like, girls can't play soccer." And that was the end of it. And I just was like, what the hell, So I think there's some of that. And also the fact that as I grew older, I had lots of horrible experiences. It was like, I managed to escape pretty well, but it was almost like when I was about in the ages of 11 and 14, it was like every pedophile came out of the woodwork and was trying to grab me, even in public. Even, I went to like a science expo, and I was sitting on a chair next to my brother watching this static electricity display. And my parents were like sitting somewhere else. They didn't want to sit so close to watch it. There's this old man sitting next to his wife, trying to put his hand across so it was on my chair, and I kept moving my chair. And he kept trying to put his hand across. He put his hand on the corner of my chair and started reaching out his little finger so he could touch my leg. And, I managed to avoid being touched by him, but just things like that. You know, some guy when I was 11 groped me in the park and called me a whore. You know, so really for me, like from the beginning, even though I think I had always felt androgynous, I really was a very androgynous child, but I think that those negative experiences for me pushed me more towards the masculine as an escape from the feminine, which I associated with being ostracized and attacked, I guess. Also, you know, I just didn't have that thing that a lot of other little girls had. I just didn't have it. And I guess, you know, it's kind of funny, really, because my brother's a bit like that. Well, was anyway. I don't think so much now. But was a bit like that too as a child. I mean, he used to say to me that I should have been the boy and he should have been the girl, because he was kind of a dainty child and he was so pretty. He was this little blonde thing with these enormous blue eyes and inch-long eyelashes. He was very genteel also as a child, whereas I wasn't, as you can imagine. Very loud, rambunctious and crazy. Yeah, so, you know, it's kind of that whole nature-nurture argument. It's like, you know, what came first, the chicken or the egg or whatever. Or whichever one came first. Leave them alone. Go vegan. Anyway, I'm a loon. Yeah, I mean, we were very weird kids. I mean, I remember one time I was about, I don't know, about 7. He must have been about 5. And we cross-dressed with this big dressing up thing. And he wore a dress and put lipstick on. And I don't know where Mum was at the time. I don't think she was paying attention. Anyway, he put a dress on and I put lipstick on him. And I wore these like overalls with like a checked shirt underneath and drew a beard on my face. And we walked around the neighbourhood. And we were playing make-believe that we were like this couple that was like new to the neighbourhood. We had our arms linked and we were like, oh yes dear, this is a very nice neighbourhood. And we ended up at we ended up at a neighbour's house who Mum was close with. I knocked on the door and you should have seen her face. She was a very normal woman. She rang our mum and got her to come and pick us up and take us home again. But yeah, and I mean, it's just always like obsessed with the whole gender ideal. I mean, I used to get, when I was still quite young, I used to get 50 cents a week pocket money. And sometimes I used to just give it to my brother so I could dress him up as a girl. Now, I don't know. I don't know. It started very young, and I don't see anything that Mum did to bring that on. I mean, yeah. I mean, my mum's a bit of a, well, she was. She's not anymore. My mum was a bit of a hippie. You know, she's very anti-sexism and stereotypes and things. Um, but she wasn't like encouraging that kind of behaviour either. It just sort of naturally came out of me. So I don't know if there was something in the water that made us both a bit odd, but yeah. And I don't know about my brother, whether he still, you know, has issues or not. It's not really something that we talk about. But yeah. Oh, I just think that's so funny.